Are pure functions more testable? Mark Seemann. Hello, I'm Chris Athanas. I'm a KMP developer. Tech Support 30 coming out Tuesday, guys. They said so. They promised this time. All right. I go some DevTools Made Simple is where the channel is. I already gave it a like. You should do the same. I don't know what language this is, but yeah, in general, if we're listening to Alan Kay, Yurgo Buyinko, yes, everything should be pure functional at the end and have all of its state passed in, and everything needs to be passed in, and so everything can be tested independently. But sometimes we don't have that, like in Android. There's a lot of stuff that's not like that where we have to mock out the internals. Is like, but so yes, back end. This is actually we have a lot more control over all that stuff. It's a lot easier on the back end. On the front end, it's not so much. But we'll just assume we're doing this for back end work. Let's keep going.
As long as a function is pure, it is intrinsically testable. And let's try to understand why that is. In order to get...
when I first heard this pure thing, I'm like, what are they doing now? Pure, it's pure. How about a different word like immutable or doesn't change state or everything's passed in. There's nothing. There's no externals or I don't know, just something better than pure. Everyone gets lost their minds with that. So you could have a pure function. It's like pure reason. It's like, oh man, come on.
Help to understand that, let's refer to Jessica Kerr. Jessica Kerr sometimes talks about a concept that she calls isolation.
Okay.
And she said,
but isolated, that's better.
Yes, isolation is, when the only information a function has about the external world is something that is passed into it.
Right, dependency injection, passed in, whatever you want to call this thing, they keep giving the same label as passing stuff in. As opposed to doing something in the function where it grabs it outside, there's a direct connection, some direct couple thing, it's always going through the thing that's passed in. That's the big decoupling, is the name of the game. Eventually, we're all going to have to listen to Alan Kay.
Via arguments, then the function has isolation, and that is a good thing, by the way. This is a desirable quality of a function.
Because it makes it testable, independent. You can pop it into something else with the same parameter list and make it run different. So there's all kinds of things from the decoupling. Because decoupling.
So basically what we're saying is a function does not have any implicit knowledge about the outside world.
See this? I hate this word, implicit knowledge. Well, it's not passed in any parameters or data from the outside. Everything's coming from the outside. There's nothing inside it. There's no clock. There's nothing. Everything's being passed in. That's the idea. The big idea.
Everything it needs to know in order to do what it is that it wants to do needs to be passed in as arguments.
Okay. Now, we agree.
Now, is a pure function isolated? Yes, always, because a pure function...
I like this chart here. This is actually pretty useful.
Is the...
I don't know about these isolation. Maybe the rest of the system, which should be the parameters passed in, because it's the pure function is an isolated little chunk. Okay, in computer programming, pure function is a function that has the following properties: the function values are identical for identical arguments, no variation with local static variables, non-local damn static variables. Yarn, Struce opening, or C++ bad paradigms that never gets passed around everywhere. Okay, non-local variables, it means global. I would say just global. I can't say we're global. Okay, mutable reference arguments. If something gets changed on the way out, like Java used to have this thing where you could change the arrays in place. All right, that's not good. Input streams, right? Internally created or referential transparency. I'm not sure what that means. The function has no side effects, so it doesn't mute a local static variable. The same as a global variable. Non-local, same as a global variable. Non-local variables. Immutable references. Yeah, if you pass something in, it doesn't modify something inside it. It has to return it as a value. There's nothing gets changed in the middle. Java was full of this stuff, and people are like it's. And the reason why, let's all say it together. Performance. It's more performant to not pass it in and pass it back. Yeah, you're right. But we have all these other problems, like we can't test the damn thing. So the performant thing came, and then the testing wave came, and it's like, oh shit. Then people are told, I have to give up my static references. It's performance. Like, yeah, But all the projects are stuck. All the projects are stuck and they're being taken over by people like me who have listened to Alan Kay and realize what they're talking about is super important when you start extending and modifying your projects. Yeah, there we go. That's how I feel about it.
Deterministic, otherwise it's not pure. And by deterministic, we're saying it should always return the same output given the same input. It is only the input that can influence the output of a function. So therefore, a pure function is a subset of all functions that have isolation.
Okay, all right. That's just mathematically describing something. It's just a simple idea. Just don't change anything inside the thing. Don't have static references. That's a big one. Yegor Ginkgo's like made me totally open my eyes to that when he started going like, look, man, this is the devil. The static references are the devil. It's super cool coupled. It totally brings you out of the whole idea of the object-oriented space, which is what Alan Kay was talking about with messages through APIs. So we have a semi-static API we all agreed on, as opposed to going right to the object, which is what the static references do. All right. Give me a like and subscribe. We'll continue our journey where I rant about software development stuff. All right. Bye.